I think that uh, what she did with the illustration, I think it works perfectly. And now, kind of hearing that, like, oh, like the you wake up and you're sucking on your pillow, and that's kind of the like that's I think that's kind of perfect. I think that works for that. So yeah, I definitely enjoy that. Um, anyway, what were you regrets about the past? Um, Thank you, baby. I appreciate that question. Um, I think maybe I'm still kind of a person who like goes big and everything. But like I think I used to wear my heart on my sleeve. Um, and there's something said about being very in touch with your emotions and things like that. But I also think that you can get hurt very easily. And I think sometimes I set myself up to get hurt. Especially like that whole maybe you share like a you have a crush on someone or you have feelings for someone and they are not there with you at all, um, and I think sometimes maybe I set myself up for some of that pain, and so I think I learned to guard myself a little bit better. I'm not saying it's bad to let people in or anything like that, but I think you also have to pick and choose who you let in, because you let anyone in, then they will do whatever they want with your heart, and you can do anything. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next poem is called Dansus. Um, I'll talk about it more afterwards. I spotted her upon the dance floor. Heart barrel jumped. Mine wanted to know more. Everything about her was on point. Baddest Corfée in the whole joint. I took the lead, extended my hand. She curtsied and accepted the plan. Time decreased. It seemed to slow, adagio, but the eternal clock was allegro. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, our feet went. Twirl and whirl, our time was spent. The two of us in a closed position, eyes locked, ready for the next transition. Sequence smooth as choreography, bound inside rhythmic monogamy. One more 8 count and the tour is done. There's a tangle between the moon and the sun. The waltz ends and I lean in, can't resist. Relevate, elevate, turns to kiss. My eyes open to nothing but mist.
So for this poem, and I think this is my personal favorite poem from the entire book,
Okay.
but here's the little illustration that we have going on for it. So this is probably the most like to me it's like it feels like a short story almost, which I mean I guess that's what poems kind of are. But this one definitely plays a little movie in my head a little bit, like people dancing around really fast, and there's one of them is obviously leading this um, little, as you said, tango around the entire room, and it could also maybe be like kind of similar to the previous one where the person leading the dance is the person that you're fawning after, and you're kind of the one following their lead, and like they might be not as into the dance as you are, even though they're the ones leading it. But it kind of has this like fast paced, like almost like anxiety inducing, like trip around the room, or just in life in general. The room would be life to me.
Yeah.
And then you kind of lean in, and then you just are like, oh, I'm by myself. It's just me.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where the drawing came from, was a little dancers. He's going in to kiss, but she is but a cloud of mist.
But a cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this poem plays into the theme very well of, letters to the lovers in my mind. Again, not everybody. It might not be everything was real. It might be the overactive imagination. You might be seeing things in places that you don't actually, see. Again, that whole, brain. You are you are maybe reading more into things than that's actually there. And admittedly, I have had I've never like dated like a dancer for listening, but like I've had adoration for people who I knew were dancers, and so I kind of like maybe kind of combined a couple of real life experiences, but I actually again never actually dated anyone who was a dancer, and I just thought what it would be to like okay, you make this dance of this poem. I even wrote this poem and I looked up like what was the most like dancey style of a poem, and so it's basically that 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So I even wrote it with the syllables in mind, like it was a dance.
That's neat.
Yeah. And then they're like, so obviously in there you're just like, okay, oh, 1 2 3 1 2 3. So I wanted to see what this dance was, the dance between like, reality and not. So yeah, that's kind of where that came from.
I feel like I definitely get that. I think that that count in the poem might be what leads to the, like you said, almost the anxiety-inducing aspect of it. It's like just around and around.
Yeah, and yeah, it was a weird. All these poems came to me in a weird like thing. I've again never like considered myself as a poet. I wrote like random poems here and there, but like I never was like, okay, I'm gonna write a collection of poems.
I'm gonna write poems.
Do this. And when I was working on all these poems, I actually was surprised, like, of just what was firing in my mind. Like that thought of the of the 1 2 3. Where'd that come from? I don't know. Like it. But I guess it was just the right timing, so it just felt right. What y'all think? Y'all want to dance with me?
Aw, yeah.
The Chocolate Prince can bust a move, by the way, if you didn't know.